सान्द्रानन्दावबोधात्मकमनुपमितं कालदेशावदिभ्या निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनः उरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावत् भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानां योगीन्द्राणां त्वदङ्गेष्वधिकसुमधुरं मुक्तिभाजां निवासो भक्तानां कामवर्षद्युतरुकिसलयं नाथ ते पादमूलं नित्यं चित्तस्थितं मे पवनपुरपते कृष्ण कारुण्य सिंधो कृष्ण कारुण्य सिंधो हृत्वा निशेषतापान् प्रदिशतु परमानन्द सन्दोहलक्ष्मी
Gurupavanapure Hantabhagyam Janana. Namaskaram to all the astikas. We did realize the wrath, the anger that Hiranyakashipu had towards Narayana because his brother Hiranyaksha was killed by Bhagavan through Varahavatar. While on one side trying to convince his sister-in-law and mother, he went with a solemn pledge vow to kill Narayana, to kill. And he went into the forest and started propitiating Brahma. And Brahma appeared in front of him and granted the complicated boon that he asked, that I should not be killed by this person, that person, here, there, here, inside, outside. All this was granted, but of course with a caveat that, somebody who falls under the ambit of your creation should not be killing me. Brahma had a sigh. He took a sigh of relief because there is someone who created Narayanat Brahma Jayate, says the Upanishad. So Brahma left the place, so did Hiranyakashipu. He could not spot Narayana and Karya Vaikuntham, so he thought that Narayana had run away from that place, fearing Hiranyakashipu, without realizing that he is the very Sakshi, who is the Antaratma. On the other hand, to protect the pregnant Kayadhu, Hiranyakashipu's Patni, from being killed by Indra, who was abducting her, Narada Maharishi takes the pregnant Kayadhu to his ashram and nurses her, takes care of her. Every day it is believed in our Sishtacharan that he would give discourses about Bhagavad Bhakti, Rupam, Swarupam to the mother, and thereby the developing fetus would end up listening. And towards the end, when Prahlada was born, he was seen as the Prathamodaharanatam. He was the first and the foremost of the examples for Tava Bhaktanam, Bhagavad Bhaktanam. Bhavad Bhaktanam, amongst your devotees, he is treated as the foremost. Then what happened to the boy? What happened to the father? Here comes the next shloka. Surarinam hasyam tava charanadasyam nijasute sadrishtva dushtatma Gurubhira shishikshata chiramamum Guruh proktam chasa vidamidam abhadraya dridhamityapa Kurvan sarvam tava charana bhaktaiva vavrudhe Drishtva nijasute tava charanadasyam, observing his very own son. Nijasute tava charanadasyam, being extremely devoted to you, Krishna, observing his very own son. Hasyam surarinam, he became an object of ridicule amongst the enemies of the Devas. Saha Dushtatma Ashikshata. This evil-minded, Duratma, Dushtatma, very, very evil-minded Hiranyakashipu, Ashikshata. He wanted to get him educated, Amum Gurubhihi Chiram, with the very sons of his Acharya called Shukra. His sons were called Shanda and Amarka. Amum Gurubhihi Chiram. So for long he wanted to get him trained. Asaucha Apakurvan Sarvam. Whereas this Prahlada was not bent upon learning what his acharyas were teaching, because his acharyas were teaching something which was viruddham to the Vedas. They were telling that Hiranyakashipu is paramatma, he is the parabrahman, which Prahlada did not agree. In turn, Prahlada is said to have taught the other boys what is the exact Vedanta. Purandaradasa says, ಕಷ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿರಲಿ ಉತ್ಕೃಷ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿರಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟಾದರೂ ಮತಿ ಕೆಟ್ಟಿರಲಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕೃಷ್ಣವೆಂಬೋ ಶಿಷ್ಟರು ಬೇಡುವ ಅಷ್ಟಾಕ್ಷರ ಮಹಾಮಂತ್ರದ ನಾಮವ ನಾರಾಯಣ ನಿನ್ನ ನಾಮದ ಸ್ಮರಣೆಯ ಸಾರಾಮೃತವು ನಾಲಿಗೆಗೆ ಬರಲಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ. He was teaching them the essence of Narayana mantra, which is the Ashtaksharam. Om iti vyaharet nama iti paschat Narayanaayet uparishtat Om ityekaksharam namaha iti dveyakshare Narayanaayeti panchaksharani. He was teaching them that. So, asaucha, he taught Guru proktam cha apakurvan sarvam, saying iti idam dridham abhadraya iti. He thought, if I learn what these teachers teach, abhadraya idam, it will lead me only to evil, narakam. Vavrudhe tava charana bhaktya eva. He started developing bhakti towards your lotus-like feet, Bhagavan. Then what did he do? Adhiteshu sreshtham kimiti pariprishthet tanaye bhavad bhaktim varyam abhigadati paryakula dhritihi gurobhya roshitva sahajam atirastyetyabhividan vadhopayanasmin vyatanuta bhavat padasharane atha tanaye pariprishthe. Once, after having so-called learned from the sons of Shukracharya, when the boy returns, Hiranyakashipu makes Prahlada sit on his lap, like every other father would do, with the hope that this boy would have learned something very unique. So he says, Atha Tanaye, making his son, Pariprishthe, making him sit on his lap. Iti kim sreshtham adhiteshu. What did you learn? What was the best amongst what you learned? Abhigadati bhavat bhaktim varyam. The boy stated, I've learned one thing, the best father, which is bhakti towards Narayana. In case of Bhaṭṭatiri, he says, looking at Krishna, bhakti towards you, towards Narayana is the ultimate. This is called as Navavida Bhakti in Bhagavatam. Shravanam, listening. What you're all doing is the greatest form of devotion. Remember, more than the speaker. You may all think that we speakers have more bhagyam. No. Listeners like you have more bhagyam, which is Shravanam. Shravanam, listening. Kirtanam, whatever you have heard, you keep chanting it in your mind and thinking about it. Kirtanam. So you listen and you chant. Vishnoho smaranam. Think about Vishnu incessantly. Avichinna smriti santana rupa taila dharavat, says Bhagavad Ramanuja. Like the flow of oil which is blemishless. You should keep on thinking of Narayana. Vishnoho smaranam. Then treat the devotees of Bhagavan as equal to Bhagavan and do pada sevanam to them. Pada sevanam. Archanam. Think of the names of Narayana and do Archana. Archanam. Vandanam. Put your palms together. I'm sure WhatsApp teaches us this particular emoticon these days. Vandanam. Dasyam, always be subservient to Bhagavan and its devotees. By being subservient, it doesn't mean some bonded labor of the British days. No, it is about thinking that he is your father, he is your mother, and you're being subservient. So, Dasyam, Sakhyam, treat Bhagavan as your friend. He is your closest friend. Dasyam, Sakhyam. Finally, submit this Atma to him. Do not get into this mundane argument as to he owns the Atma. Why should I do Sharanagati? He will think somebody else has done. We have to do Sakriteva Prapannaya Tavasmiti cha yachate. We have to plead. We have to pray. So, Atma Nivedanam Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam Iti Pumsarpitar Vishnor Bhaktische Navalakshana. The essence of this Navavida Bhakti, Bhaṭṭatiri says, it seems Prahlada told his father, Abhigadati Bhavad Bhaktim Varyam. Devotion to Bhagavan Narayana is the greatest. Saha, upon hearing this, that Hiranyakashipu, Paryakula Dhritihi, he got very agitated in his mind. He said, how dare this boy talk about the greatness of Narayana like Ghantakarna. In another occasion, I'll tell you who is Ghantakarna. He used to wear earrings so that he'll never listen to the word Narayana. If someone says Narayana, he will shake. So that noise overtakes the Narayana Shabdam noise. So similarly, Hiranyakashipu couldn't withstand. Roshitva Paryakula Dhritihi, he got agitated in his mind. Roshitva, he got angry. Gurubhyaha Abividan. Those gurus, sir, sorry, we will leave, sir, because they were worried. They didn't teach anything of this. They were teaching Hiranyakashapave Namaha, Ditiputraya Namaha, Kashyapasutaya Namaha, Loka Dukkha Karanaya Namaha. This is the Archana that they were teaching. But this boy was not ready to listen to all of this. He was learning what the Vedas and the Vedanta have to say. Iti asya sahaja matihi, with that natural bent of mind, Vyatanuta Vadhopayan Asmin. He wanted to find a way how to kill this boy. Will a father ever do this? Can you ever imagine a father or mother thinking, how will I kill? But these days, I don't know whether we have reached the zenith of Kali Yugam. We see so many news articles where we hear that the father killed the daughter, the mother threw away her children from the train. We do get to see that. But in general, if at all there is a Pratyaksha Deva in this world, it is Mata and Pita. Matra Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava. There is nothing which can exceed that. Mata Putrasya Bhuyamsi. Various Shastra Vakyams point out to the services that a mother and father do for their child. Services that they do. Whether the child does in return or not is questionable. But what the mother and father do, that is why Adi Shankara says, Astam Tavadiyam Prasuti Samaye Durvara Shulavyatha Nairuchyam Tanusoshanam Malamayi Shayyacha Samvatsari Mata. You have done so much for me. What can I give you in return? Asks Bhagavad Pada. On the other hand, when we look at Pita, Rama's entire life was Pitrivakya Paripalana. So father and mother being served by their children, father and mother showering love on their children is very natural. But here, Hiranyakashipu, look at what kind of a character he is. Iti asya sahajamatihi, with that bent of mind that he had. It was not as if he was a great person before. Vyatanuta vadhopayan asmin vadhopayan. He wanted to somehow kill this boy, this very son of his, Bhavat Pada Sharane. But Bhaṭṭatiri says, which boy did he want to kill? That boy who had sought refuge in the lotus feet of Narayana, Krishna, he wanted to kill. Is that possible? He asks. That is what we have to read between the lines. Can you kill or do harm to a person who thinks of the lotus feet of Lord? If he has performed Sharanagati to Narayana, what harm can Hiranyakashipu do? This is what Hiranyakashipu starts doing from now on. It's a torture that he puts his son through. But the boy underwent such torture. But did he have the grit and the power and the willpower to win over it? We don't know. We may have to see all of this in the next episode.
कल्याणरूपाय कलौ जनानां कल्याणदात्रे करुणासुधाब्दे कंवादिदिव्यायुधसत्कराय वातालयाधीश नमो नमस्ते। नारायण 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 नारायण।